Yo, 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 yo. Here we go. Oh, chat is working, huh? The chat is actually working. That looks nice. We're moving on up in the world in this stream. Can I fix that background though? Hang on. That background looks a little bit wonky to me. Like it's kind of hard to read the chat. Let's see if I can fix that really quickly before we jump on. Alright, hang on. Chat's gonna go away for 1 second. Should come back any minute. Where's my chat so I can chat with you guys and test it out? Hey, what's up? No, I didn't change the background. I wanted to change the background so it can be a little bit more readable. And let me turn on my ping pong. Oh, don't know. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Let's get this camera lifted up. I'm standing up today. My back is a little bit sore from yesterday. I didn't stand up too much yesterday during that stream. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's a little bit better. And I figured out the camera-wise, it's not so crazy zoomed out. I mean, I don't know if you guys preferred the zoomed out look. To me, it was a little bit zoomy. And I can't change it right now because I can't put my passcode in because of the cell phone holder. Mic is loud and clear. Colder, thanks. Agent Rat, what up? Agent Rat coming in strong with those renders, man. Keep it up, man. That's how you get better, just by putting in the work. Putting in the work in the blender, right? Do we need light today? I really don't want to turn the lights on because it gets really hot in here. And when I'm standing up, the light is like right here, just blasting in my face. I think the lighting is okay. I'm just using the normal room light today. So probably should turn my speakers on. Hang on. Camera angle and zoomed in are looking better. Nice. That's cool. I'm trying to figure out how to get this solid background on the other page here, on the break page. I'll figure that out later, but I don't like, it's hard to read, right? So I might just change the background. I probably should just change the background on that page. Let me just change the background. How about this? Even worse. I don't like that one. Yeah, I'll worry about that later. Yeah. Sweet. All right, guys. So quickly, because I gotta stay on point today. I gotta go to work early. So I want to do a quick recap of yesterday and what we talked about as far as anybody jumping in on the stream that's new today about the two nodes, because I want to take it. I always want to make it a point to do like the first 10 minutes of the stream. We'll kind of look at some Octane nodes, right? Add solid colors and lower opacity. Yeah, I'll take it into Photoshop and make something appropriate. That was just kind of last minute. I think if you keep that other one in Photoshop in the black back and the black box just around it, yeah, I'll get it. I'll hook it up. So quickly, yesterday, again, quiz time. What do we use the color, if I can spell, what do we use the color correction node for? What is this for, guys? What can we do with the color correction node? Anybody got an idea? It's pretty easy. Correct the colors. Right? So, if I was to quickly just to recap, throw an RGB image in here, plug that into the albedo, and then from there, something's bothering me right now. That's bothering me. That's bothering me. There we go. I'm playing around with the image to play around with the image. Yeah, basically to adjust the image colors, right? So, for example, here I'm just gonna grab an image and just throw it in there really quickly. Boom, first thing I come to, there it is. Open image, okay. Let's go ahead and rotate this on X, 90. Fire up the L render. No go. We had a fail start, Houston. Abort the start. Abort the start. We have not enabled the server yet. All right. Let's refire that up after we enable the server. There it is. Yeah, it normally doesn't shut off, but when I actually do a full shutdown of my computer, then it has to be turned back on. If I just put my computer in sleep mode, it'll be on. But I just last night I did a full shutdown, so I do a full shutdown at least a couple times a week. All right, now fire it up. Bum, 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 bum. That happens every time, I know. All right. Okay, so there it is. There is our image. And you've got any ideas why the server says that the account expired? It said that ever since 2013. It says this. It's always said that, and it's never expired. Well, actually, it did get outdated once, and like all I had to do was go download the new server, and then it worked. But yeah, I don't know why it says that. There's a lot of quirky things about Octane that are just kind of weird. So we got our image, and we want to do a color correction. We dropped the color correction node in between our image. And quickly, we got control of brightness. We've got control of hue. We've got control of saturation. We've got control of gamma, contrast, gain. Ooh, the gain's looking nice, huh? Exposure, and a mask, which I've never ever used. Hang on, let me do something. Let me go to exposure, and then take the oh, this could be like kind of like. Let's make a whole bunch of changes, right? Let's damn it and gamma it up, and then let's change the saturation, and then let's change the hue. Now the mask can feel like the opacity, like the overall opacity. Like, okay, this is everything at 100%. Well, let's just back all the adjustments we made. Let's just back it off. Like, see, now if I go to 0, it's back to normal. So just think about the mask as an opacity slider, right? For the whole settings. Is that picture? Is that a picture that has default Dennis in it? That is, yep, that is. Yes, yes. I was doing Octane scatter on that one. So that's the color correction node. Now, if this wasn't enough for you, you needed more. You're like, this ain't enough. You need more. Like yesterday, we talked about I know where it's at now. We come to textures. We go to operators. We go to image adjustment node. Now, the image adjustment node is the color corrector node, but more settings. You got more settings. We got the bypass. We've got the strength again, was to control everything that we do. This huge range, I checked it out last night. It only affects once we start actually changing the hues and stuff like that. Turn on the color. So here's the hues. We're making some hue saturation, and we're getting crazy right there. Now, if I turn on hue range, now you see that it affects it. Like, we're affecting the range, like even more fine detail control. Okay. So if you got that, and you're going to come in here and look, now we're really starting to get weird and wonky with this hue range. If you use a noise texture, I think it'll make the white parts that have values you put in, right? In the color correction node. You can use the color correction node in procedural stuff too, but again, with the color correction node, when we do the noise texture, we're only working with black and white values, right? Black and white, and then everything in between gray values. So you can use that too, like that, and dial it in. Let's quickly just detach this really fast, and let's go ahead and drop in a noise texture. Let's just see what happens here. Noise texture, boom, drop that into the albedo, and then let's come in here and grab our color correct node, Hang on, I'm tired of typing these. This is how I put them in my quick fix. I go and look for it, right? Texture, operators, color correction node, right click, add to favorites, image adjust node, add to favorites, boom. Then I double click out. Now I just press Q. There it is, my color correction node. It's easier that way, guys. I hate going through the menus. I just like to boom, 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 right? So now we got the color correction node, and let's give this, let's give me like 10 on the contrast there for a little bit. And let me just make it a little bit bigger so we can see what we're doing. There we go. Let's give it some more detail. Yeah, there we go. Now we got the color correction node. Look, we can play with the brightness. Again, this is very sensitive up here on top. This one is very sensitive, so I always hold shift, right? So that's just the overall brightness. I mean, we can do this with the color ramp too also, guys. But hue is not really doing anything. Saturation, not really doing anything. Gamma should do something, right? But there's no need to do that because gamma is already right here on the noise texture node. So that's kind of like a double. Then contrast, which is already on the noise texture node right here. But then if we go into gain, maybe you want to have some more control. There's our gain, right? And then our exposure. Okay, so we can play it like that. So you could do it. I mean, there's no rules, right? Do whatever you want, whatever it takes to get the look, right? But just alone, the noise texture, that's one thing I do like about the noise texture versus cycles. Like, I got this gamma gain control right here, and this right here is nice. Like, I mean, yeah, you can put a color ramp on it, but yeah, so you can still gamma gain up. And then, hang on, let me add that to my quick, where is that one at? Operators, gradient map, right click, add to favorites, drop that in. Gradient map is something I use all the time. And boom, now we can you can get even more crazy, right? So we're crunching these values, and then if I come in here and start playing with this, look at that. And then if we start playing with this, like, we can get even crazier, right? So let's actually look at that today. So next node that we're gonna look at now is the gradient map. So those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, let's jump over to cycles. And in cycles, we have the good old, my favorite node, the color ramp. Boom, here it is, right? We've got our color ramp. Now in cycles, here we got a color output and we got an alpha output. Then we've got the RGB with the HVC and LSV. Then we got the linear and these other ease modes, right? And we've got our two little keys here, which we can add more. We can come in here, we can flip distribution, you know, or we can come in here and say distribute from the left and then distribute every stop. So kind of like that. We can change it to, you know, constant or something like that there. Then you've got this here, which, yeah, it's pretty much self-explanatory. And then we can change the colors. Now, if we jump back over to Octane, it's not called a color ramp. It's actually called the gradient map node. Let me go ahead and set that back to default. And if you look, it's very similar. RGB, HSV, SL, blah, 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 blah. Then we got linear, ease, all of the same ones here, right? And then again, if I bring in all some nodes, we can come in here, distribute evenly, same thing, distribute from the left, flip eyedropper, right? But then we also got the interpretation mode here. Again, linear, constant step. We can change that up to constant, so now it's more constant. And then insert color space, physical, and this is a little bit, I don't think we have this in cycles, right? Hang on, let's jump back over to cycles. Can I copy this node and put it in the Octane one? Hang on, let's do that. See if I can do that. Yes, I can. Boom, there it is. Hang on, let's clean up some of our mess. And let me set this back to default. All right, so here it is. Now we've got the two nodes side by side. It's easier to compare them like this. And set that one back to default. So we do see we've got some extra inputs on these. Now, to be honest, I've never used any of these ones yet. Just I've used this one before. Like I just showed you, changing from constant to step. But this interpretation color space I have not used before. So again, off stream, I will look this up. We can do it right now. Why not? Hang on. So let me go over to my good old trusty Octane bot, which I've been training for the last year on Octane, Blender Octane. All right. And here it is, our trusty Octane bot. Boom. All right. Now, let's ask it here. Matter of fact, what I like to do, hang on. I can't close that. Let's move that over here. All right. And what is this? Okay. Yeah, we don't need that right now. That's good. What I like to do is come in here and I'll make a copy of this node. I'll take a screenshot. And I'm going to take a screenshot just of this portion right here. Actually, I'm just going to go like this. And just take a screenshot of that. Okay. And then I'm going to come back over to the bot. I'm going to paste this in. And what was it? Color interpretation. What is it? Interpretation, color space, physical. What is the color space interpretation used for on the gradient map node? The photo helps us to give it, context of what we're talking about here, right? The interpretation color space sets how Octane blends colors on a gradient. Physical gives realistic spherical results. Linear gives basic RGB fades. So then it gives us some step-by-steps on open up a gradient map node in Octane materials. Look at the interpretation space. Let's do that. Hang on, let's do that. Let's do what it's saying. So open up gradient map. Hang on, let's move that out of the way. Let's come in here. I think the gradient map's gonna go after. Gradient map. There it is, gradient map. Oh, not the gradient map. I want to add in a gradient generator. There it is, gradient generator. This generates gradients, just like it says. Plug that in. Let's fire up this. Let's hide all this jibber jabber on the screen here. Okay, so we're generating this gradient here. Now let's see if we change this up. If it's gonna make a difference. I'm not seeing a difference. Huh. I'm not seeing a difference, guys. Let's go back over and see what it says. Look at the interpretation color space drop down. This controls how Octane calculates the color mix between keys. Oh, between keys. Choose physical. Blending is natural realism, best for fire, subsurface, and dispersion. Linear, standard RGB interpretation, faster, good for UI or specialized looks. RGB, sRGB, or that one, I don't see that option on there, may appear depending on Octane's version. Okay, see, that's why I said that. So, yeah, we need to add some keys to it. And let's do dispersing those evenly. And let's do what you said. Let's give him some color. Just kind of push him around a little bit here. Not really seeing a difference, but it's there, and now we know what it does. So if there's ever some time that you're in that situation where that doesn't look like it's fallen off clean or something, I don't know. But anyways, okay, let's move on. Let's move on. So we've got that. We know what that does now. So I'm just gonna keep it on physical. That's what like I said, I've never used that. I've never messed with that. I've used these before, again, like constant and stuff like that, right? So let's go ahead and switch that back to linear. So there's our little gradient right there. Then what we got here is the start value. Now these are interesting, right? These right here get a little bit interesting. Oh, what happened there? Hang on. Once I took that off, how come we don't oh, because the gradient. That was weird. Okay, let's plug that back in. Okay, now we got the start value. Now this one kind of weird. If we come in here, and if I add in, what did I add in last time? I think I added in a noise texture. Start value. Let's ask the bot on this one here. Again, I used this one time when I was making some weird. Let me show you. Let me recreate what I was doing that last time. I had a noise texture. I need to add noise texture to this too. Noise texture, Octane texture procedurals. Octane texture, procedural, noise texture, noise texture. Oh, I forgot to add it to the quick thing. That sucks. Again, let's add this into here. Okay, so we've got this noise pattern here, right? We've got all these little colors playing here. Now, if we come to this start value here, I'm going to add in another gradient map into the start value. Now watch this. Hang on. Maybe it wasn't a gradient map. Maybe it was a noise texture. Let's add in another noise texture. Duplicate this one. Start value. Nope, that's not doing anything. What did I add in there? Did I add in a grayscale image? Let's try that. Grayscale image. Not a grayscale image, a grayscale. Let's, what is it? Noise map. Dang it, what did I call that? RGB color. Oh, gray color. Grayscale color. All right, grayscale color. Put that in there, which we also can use this just to basically be like a value node. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything happening on that start value. Let's go to value. Ooh, now something happened. Okay. Now something happened. Value 1. Okay, now value 1, I think these correlate to, if I go to value 1 here, that means this is value 1. The green should be value 1. If I go to value 2, what's 2? 2 is going to be this key here. So if I go to value 2, this is that key. Okay, so now what can we use? Let's ask the bot what are these for here, because I've never really used these. I played around with them once before. Okay. What are the start value inputs used for? Quick answer. Start and end value ramps. The input texture range before applying the gradient, effectively shifting or stretching the gradient domain. Oh my gosh, this makes it do much easier than what I do in cycles. Step. Okay, plug in a gradient, plug in a grayscale or a procedural texture into the input. Okay. Use start value to define the minimum input value that maps to position 0 on the gradient node. So put in a grayscale or a procedural texture. Let me reset this first. So I got a noise texture inside here. All right, we got a noise texture. We're not seeing nothing, guys. Reset that. Oh, hang on. Let me unplug this. Okay, yeah. All right. So here's our. Let me give me some more compression there. Now let's go. Okay, hang on. So we input that in there. Use the start value to define the minimum input value that maps the position 0 on the gradient. The end value to define the maximum input value to map the position 1, because 0 to 1. Any texture value below gets clamped to the first color, above the end, the last color. So use this to isolate or compress the gradient, making only the midtones visible. Interesting. So let me plug this into the start here. And I still don't really see a difference when we do start input. What about end input? Yeah, I'm still not seeing a difference, guys. So I think what in reality is we're affecting this starting position and this ending position. We're like saying, hey, I want the end to be more over here, or I want the start position to be more over here, but I'm not seeing any difference. Let me disconnect that and let's see what are the available nodes that we can use. We can use any of these nodes here. RGB color. Maybe it needs more values. What do you mean by more values? These values? Now these, I can see what it means by mapping and starting. Like if I come here and plug this into value 1, now we can see we're getting something happening on the start and end position. Let's see what it says about the values. The start values and the end values. What are the value 1 and value 2 inputs used for? Value 1 and value 2 lets you override the gradient output colors at position 1 and position 2 with direct RGB values or textures step by step. Okay, I don't need the step by step. Gradient map node. You see how it gives the sources? Because these, I put these as the sources when I was designing this thing. Like, this is all the information I took, all the information from OTOY website. I used Cinema 4D manuals, standalone manuals, the Blender manual. I threw them all in here. So whenever it's referring to anything, it's going back to the OTOY website and basically the manual. And I'm updating it with some other sources, like some interesting YouTube videos I found and things like that. But I don't want to have it too heavily on YouTube stuff. I want it to be at the source of OTOY where it comes from, right? So that's a texture. That's a texture, right? Yeah, that's texture. Let's scroll down here to texture. Image texture. I need this chat bot. Yeah, it's in my community. Yeah, it's unfortunately that's one of the exclusive things for the Blender Octane community, Skool community. Where did I have it? Gradient generator? No, not that. We needed. Just search for it. Gradient map. Gradient map. Here we go. So the gradient map texture produces a gradient blend between colors it accepts in an input and determines how the gradient maps to a surface in figure 2 gradient. that goes from green to red and connects the diffuse. Okay, so here's an image of it, basically doing the fall off using a gradient map to color the gradient of the surface. Gradient generator. Octane render maps the gradient using a fall off map. You know, with the fall off node is basically like our in cycles, I forgot what they call that. Layer weight node or something like that, I think they called it. Fall off map, resulting in the reddish colors of the gradient being more visible on the edges of the surface that fade away from the camera, and the green color appears on the parts of the surface that faces the camera. This node can be used in conjunction with the gradient generator node that creates various gradient shapes, such as the radio or whatever, blah blah blah. All right, here we go. Gradient map interpretation. There's our interpretation color space, the color space in which are combined between two control points. Yeah, so they are, it basically does affect the control points. Physical uses seeing linear values and creates a gradient that's approximately optical effects in the real world. She uses the Oak Lab color space and creates gradients that are very smooth to the human eye. Physically should be used for texturing that contains no color data like normals. Physical should be used for textures that contain no color data like normals. Interesting. I'm getting schooled up on this too. I've never looked this node up, guys. Like, I've used this node for so long because I knew it was a color ramp and that's all I've done. But I've never actually looked this node up. So this is new for me also. Input texture. The texture we use to access the gradient map. Okay, we know what that is. Start value. Use the color switch or RGB values to set the gradient starting point, and then in value. Use the color swatches or RGB values to set the in color. Color swatches or RGB values. RGB values. Or RGB values. I'm still not getting exactly what this is for. Try to do something with it that hypes me up. I'm trying to do something with it that hypes me up. Like, I want to know why these are here. Like, there's got to be a reason for them. Like, I've always seen all of them here, but I've never really paid attention to it because I just use it as a color ramp. And I've never like, why those values here? Like, I've never really, this is my first time really playing with these, with the color swatches. Let's just bring in an RGB color first. Oh, did you see what happened there? Did you just see what happened there? So I added an RGB color node. Check it out. We've got these two colors, the green and the blue. Here's a white, right? I've just got white. If I unmute it, boom, it adds this white value in there. Oh, okay. Look at this. Interesting. So, technically, this is value 1. Value 1 is what? Blue. Okay, then I plug the red into value 1. Let me go to a hard edge. Let's go less noise. I want to get something really clean and smooth here. Okay, that's good. Clean and smooth. Now, let's see what this does. Okay, I think I understand what's going on here. Now, we have the blue, right? I think so. It's kind of like here's the blue. Now, the blue starts here. I want to add the red where the blue starts, because adding this value on top of it, like, boom. So right there, it's kind of like we're adding this edge. Look, we're adding this red edge here to the blue. See if that's doing anything yet. So let's say if I go to the green one, let's duplicate this one. And if I take this and let's change it opposite, let's go pink. Now the pink should also appear in between this red and green. That's what I'm thinking theoretically. That the pink should appear between the green and the red. Here we go, value 2. Oh, it appeared on the opposite side. Okay, so it appeared on this side. Why is that? Value 2. Interesting. There is the pink now. If we reverse that, there's the pink and there's the red. The red is still too close. Let's get more of a different color. Yellow. That's interesting, guys. Now what if we duplicate this and let's change this to white. Let's plug this in the start value. Okay, and then let's duplicate this and let's plug this into the black value. Let's go black and let's plug this in the end value. Huh. That's really interesting. Okay. So like you can get pretty crazy. Like I don't know how exactly I would use this yet. Add more colors. Yeah, like it's adding. I mean, so obviously, oh, add more colors to the keys up here. Yeah, I'm not seeing the colors in between now. Like, now that we did that, like, here's that. Oh, but see, now that we added those extra values, that means we can still add more colors. Because look, every time I added another key, it added another value, value 3 and value 4. So again, you can probably just keep going crazy with the colors. Yeah, look at it. I mean, all these colors are lining up inside here. It seems ultimately like whatever the last one is, like here is like you can see the fill color, and whatever the first one is, we're getting this color here. Hey, just wondering, do you also have the same issue with Octane scatter in mine lags? Hang on, I could get cut off. Octane scatter, mine lags intensely after 100k instances and not real time anymore. In Cinema 4D, it's fine, even with 1 million. Same model, same lighting. Wow, really? Yeah, I've gone up to 2 million and I had no issues. So that could maybe be something like, okay, do it overwrites the value. So you can add like an animated clip to that value. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question, huh? Yeah, back to your question about the scattering. If it's working fine in C4 and if you get to Blender, I would basically check your, maybe because you're overriding the outlines. Yeah, I would check your, make sure that you're try disabling overlays to see if it runs faster. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, try disable, and make sure you check your settings. Like, come down here to. Somebody just told me also about caching inside of Octane. Like, make sure you delete the cache, which I was kind of like, network preferences. Hang on. Was it network preferences? No, device preferences. In device preferences, also too, make sure like you have render chose, right? Okay, here I'm using there's my GPU. I have that one checked. Then you need to make sure that, I don't know, maybe your memory set. All of this stuff here I've left default, but I know this also. See, the amount of GPU memory that leaves free for each device when storing images and textures or geometry data needs a kernel run overhead. Only use this device preing you're out of cores. Yeah. Octane log, Octane should view device preferences, activation state. Yeah, I don't know on that. I would also come back and maybe go into your file and first go to an Octane startup path tracing like default, and then try it, run it like that, because you might have something on that's slowing you down. Does the use priority button do anything? I don't know. I have it on. I really don't know. You're asking some really good questions right now. That's why I like live streaming. You guys are like making me ask stuff that I've never even checked before. I don't know. Let's find out. What is its use priority? What does use priority mean? Use priority lets you assign relative importance to GPUs when rendering. Octane prefers devices with higher priority. Yellow dot equals active. Step by step, in your CUDA device panel, each GPU has a priority dot. Yellow equals active, gray equals inactive. Click the dot to cycle properties. Sometimes modifiers can cause that too. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Cycle higher priority. GPUs get chosen first for rendering or denoising tasks. It is mostly used. It is mostly useful in multiple GPU setups. Example: prioritizing a 4090 over a 3070. If you have a high priority GPU becoming unavailable due to memory limits, Octane falls back to the next one in line. In a single GPU like yours, it has no functional effect. Octane uses your only GPU regardless. Adrian, thank you. I just learned something too. I'm already learning a whole bunch of crap on this stream, guys. So, I do need to turn the light on a little bit. Basically, if you got multiple GPUs, this one use priority basically says, hey, I want this one to be my number one GPU. Everybody else is going to be number two. Single GPU user doesn't work, and that's probably why by default it doesn't check. So just uncheck it. It doesn't really matter. Unless you have multiple GPUs. You have multiple GPUs? Oh, then I should definitely have it off, and the explanation makes sense. Yep, that was a good question. All right, I want to see about adding an image map into this slot here. RGB image. Let's drop something in here into, let's like go to the blue. No, only one poor GTX 1050. Huh, only one. At least you have a GPU, bro. I had many years that I had no GPU, and I would have loved to take that poor little GTX 1050. Trust me. And I still, my laptop, my 1050 Ti, I'm still like, I need to buy a hard drive so I can get that thing back up and running, so I can have so I can be mobile again and continue working on stuff at work. Yeah, I don't think this is affecting it. Like, I think color values are pretty much the way to go with this. Like, it's not doing anything with an image inside of there. And that's why I think the color values are probably where it's at. And like, not the start. Oh, I think I plugged that into the start value, huh? Let's redo that. RGB. Value 1. Yeah, I don't see it doing anything. Oh, hang on. I take that back. I think it was frozen. 2.2. Put it into the value 1. Yeah, I didn't put it into value 1. I can see something back there. It's definitely changed it up. It definitely did something. I can see the image back there. Look at that. See it? So yeah, you could put an image or something in there. Or even if you had like some type of black and white image that was animated, like a mask type, and you would throw that in there, you would have something happening, because we just threw an image inside of value 1, so that's pretty interesting. I would have never I would have never tried that on my own. Let's go to value 2, and let's go with a different one. Let's just use the Dennis 8K texture. I'll see it freezes up a little bit. Hang on, so you got to turn that off and then reboot it. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing something very subtle happen. I'm going to install the new version of Blender Octane and the server. Do I need to delete them before installing, or is it going to overwrite itself? No, it won't. It won't overwrite. Like, you can have multiple. That's you can have multiple versions on there, right? If you want to keep your old one, yeah. But I always just uninstall the old version and on the old server, and then install the new version and the new server, because I just don't. I don't know. I don't know if it really matters or not. Let me ask the bot. When installing a new version of Blender Octane, should I uninstall my old version and keep and then install the new version? Does it matter, or can I run both versions? You can run multiple Blender Octane versions side by side. No need to uninstall, as long as each one has its own folder. Okay, make sure each one has its own folder. And then back up your Blender files. Newer Octane builds may upgrade scenes data inadvertently. To switch builds, just launch the exe on the whatever. We know how to do that. Optional. Use separate config files with factory setups or Python exrpr launch flags if you get settings get overridden. I don't know. That's some more advanced stuff that I don't know about. Because I used to have Vanilla Blender on here, and I used to have it in a different folder, and then I'll have my Octane Blender. Well, I don't mind having multiple versions. So there you go. Just make sure it's in a separate folder. Because, yeah, I did that once. I had Blender Vanilla and Blender Octane in the same folder, and all kind of wonky things used to happen. So then I uninstalled both of them, kept Vanilla Blender in its own folder, kept Octane in its own folder, and I've never had any issues. I just recently just deleted the other version, the Vanilla Blender, because I never honestly used it. I never used it. Yeah, it's not even on here anymore. Yeah. All right. Well, we were supposed to build something this stream, but unfortunately, I'm not unfortunately, but we did learn about the gradient map, which I'm happy we did because I just learned a whole bunch of stuff about the gradient map. Oh, it's probably went insane. Yeah, it did. It was like, what the hell's going on? And let's try to recreate this really fast here. How they did this with the gradient map and with the fall off map, just to kind of summarize what we've learned here. This is interesting, guys, what we've learned here. And one other thing I like we can do with this is, check this out. If we take, there's some black values in this. We can take this and plug this into the opacity. And see, look at that. And we'll definitely get some weird funkiness, right? But what I should do is basically go gradient map. And then kill that, and then come from the noise texture, bypassing that other one, and then boom, plug that in the gradient map. Now you've got them all separate like this. Like you cut it out. Look at that. All right, and then let's see if we can plug these back in here. What does that do? And look, we still get all that funky color going on too. Let's hide the background. Alpha channel. Look at that. Look at that. That's cool, man. That's cool. Alright, so what I want to do is, let's delete that. Let's just add in a Suzanne head. I gotta go to work early today, guys, so this is gonna be a short stream. It's not going to be the normal 2 hours. Alright, so I got a Suzanne here. Let's add a new material in. We're going to add in a fall off map. Fall off map, aka layer weight node. For those of you coming from Cycles, this is a layer weight node in Octane. It's called a fall off map. And if we just plug it straight into the texture so we can see what's happening, boom, there, that's what's happening. You can see, look, see right here? Right, we can see that happening. Let me knock down this glare a little bit. There it is. Now, we've got some cool settings on this also, too. This is another one of my favorite nodes. See, right here, we're at the normal versus I-ray, kind of like that glancing blow. And while we're at it, let's look at it properly. We're gonna do 2 nodes today. We're doing that one and this one. After this, I got to go fall off map. What is it called? Fall off? Yeah, fall off map. No? What's it called? I'll fall off map. Fall off map. Fall off map. Texture control, material blending, depending on the viewing angle of the material geometry. Boom, there it is. That's it in action. Fall off map. The modes, the angles between the I-ray and the shading normal is mapped from 0 to 90 to 0 to 1, or for a value larger than 1, the fall off node does a gamma correction by using the fall off skew factor as an exponent. Fall off skew factor implies imperturbability between the spectral shading. Okay, they're getting a little bit too jibber jabber for me there. There are 3 modes. Normal I-ray. This is the default mode where Octane calculates the fall off from an angle between the surface normal of the I-ray. This mode is often used for reflections. The fall off color ranges affect faces directly in front of the view and gradually fall off at an angle, angle facing towards the sides of fall off away from the straight angle. So there it is. This is what's happening. You can see looking at it. The fall off direction parameter does not apply. Okay, does not apply. The fall off direction does not apply. Fall off, oh, this right here. This does not apply. This is not doing anything, right? You can see it's not doing anything. Now, our next mode normal to 90, and now it's going on a 90 degree, and this does apply. See, now we can control that 90. Maybe we want it to be more like off to the side, like this, right? Like a mirage. More like, you know, especially if you're looking at a car paint, in certain angles you look at the car paint, it slightly changes color or something like that. This is kind of more of that. Let's go back here to the seat. Ah! Don't do that. There we go. Normal versus 90. Octane calculates the fall off between the surface normal and the specific direction vector, maxing out at 90 degrees. Now we can see here we've got that 90 degrees. Here it's going in that direction. Similar to the default mode, except that it maintains the effect of the color range according to the fall off direction parameters. So now we can change that parameter if we want something more. Next one, normal versus vector 180. This is the one I use for my dust material. Now if we go to the 180, it should be on top, right? It's a little bit kind of like, I use this for a mask on top. You can see you have it a little bit here on the top here. Or here it is, see, look, on the bottom, 180. So we can flip that. And I'm trying to remember how I inverted that. Oh, I think I added an invert node. Texture invert node. Yeah, and it inverts it, see? Texture inverts. And then here, now since we're not getting the range that I want, this is where our gradient map comes in. Gradient map, drop that in between there. Now I can be like, yo, give me more control. Boom. There's a gradient map kicking in on that, right? I want it to be on top though. Hang on. Just kill that for a minute. I want it to be on top, so should I just probably move this? There we go. Now it's on top. Okay, so I just had to use the fall off direction. This fall off direction, I wonder what kind of node I can plug in there to control that a little bit more easier. But there it is. And guys, these act as masks too. Black and white values, you can use this as a mask, right? What's the third option? What is the third option will be used for as an example? This third option right here, the 180. This one right here, the 180. I use it for dust. Let's go, hang on. Is that what you're talking about? Apply bump normal map. If enable, the shading normals, which include bump and normal mappings, will be used to calculate the fall off. If disabled, the smoothing normals, which does not include bumping or normal map, will be used instead. Max value, minimum value. The visible material on the surface facing the camera, a value of 0 displays the material connected to the material pin 2, and a value of 1 displays the material connected to material pin 1. What do you mean? I just always thought that was just value control, right? Like that, right? Good evening. Yo, what up, Metal Gear? We're just at the tail end of the stream, but we're playing with the fall off map node. We just went through the color ramp node. We're playing with the fall off map node. I'm gonna sit down for a little bit, guys. Hang on, bring my desk down a little bit. Okay, so the fall off, what would option 3 be for? Option 3, I would use it for dust. Like exactly like this. And the best way to show this, hang on, let's get two materials set up here. Let's add in an RGB image. This is the best way to show it. And actually, we don't even need to do that. Hang on. We don't need to do that. Let's do this. This is even better. Come over here. I'm going to drag this texture onto Suzanne. Boom, like that. Suzanne, how come we don't see your texture? What's up? If that ever happens, you guys see like how I drag that. I noticed it happens when I drag materials onto the object. Like I dragged that material on top of her and like we couldn't see it. And let me do this other one. Let me try it again. See how I just drag the material on? Oh, and now it does it. But sometimes it won't switch. So sometimes I'll just come here and literally change the material slot and then change it and it'll kind of fix it. Like I don't know why it does that. It's kind of like wonky. But that typically would happen when I drag stuff on. All right, so we got these two materials. And let me take this material really quick and go Control G. Pack it up. Pack it up. Pack it in. Let me begin. Copy that. Jump out. And then let's go back to the other material. Gumball right here. And then let's come back and paste it here. Right? Then what I'm going to do is pop over here. Go full screen so I can see what I'm doing. Come in here. I'm going to go material. Mix material node. Drop that there, plug this there, boom, now we're mixing both materials. Okay, now we're mixing both materials. Right, there's the red and there's the orange, okay? Now, if we come back to our, add in our fall off map, now we're really gonna see it shine, right? Fall off map. And let me change this to a little bit more different color, like blue. More of a kind of darker blue, okay? And now if we plug in our fall off map into the mix mount, boom, there it is. Now we're seeing that fall off. Okay, now we're seeing that fall off. And now if we can play with these values, right? So minimum value. All right, there's minimum and then maximum value. So it's kind of opposite. Like you think it would have been minimum maximum, but the maximum, I guess the maximum of what we want to see. So I guess like it's too strong, right? So I want it to be more less. So then I can use this and bring this down. Candy paint job. Exactly, right. That's why that's the first thing that comes to mind, like a candy paint job. The fall off is dependent on the camera angle, correct? Yes, exactly. Exactly. In this mode, right? In the normal versus iRay mode. Now if we change it and let's go to the next one, normal versus 90 degrees. This is the normal versus 90 degrees. Okay. So it's kind of like, there it is. To me, it feels like it's 180, but it says 90 degrees. Oh, you know why? No, hang on. No, that's still right. Yeah. But now once we go to this angle here, this actually works. So I can change this angle. Updated. I tried increasing the number of instances step by step and applied all the modifiers. Displacement. And the other two are based on normals, or are they the same? We got. I think you know what? I'm based on the normals. Calculates, falls off, falls the angles between the surface. Yeah, between the surface normals and the specified direction vector maxing out at 90 degrees. It's similar to a default mode. Yes, basically off the normals, right? You got it. Right, and then you can control that with this. Now, what I want to figure out really quickly while we're here, what can I plug into this blue value here to control this so I don't have to do this? That's what I want to find out right now. I've never figured it out, and I'm going to figure it out right now. So let me jump in here really quick. Jump in the classroom. Oh, yeah. That comes useful. Yeah, it's super useful. Like, it's about, I use that a lot. Hang on. Come into assets. Again, back to Blender PDF file. Blue dot, blue dot, blue dot. Blue dot. Here's a blue dot. Really? Octane transformation? I don't think it's that blue. It's a different blue. Hang on. Blue dot. Blue dot. Nope. Blue dot. I was going to ask the same question. Yeah. Blue dot. Blue dots. Blue dots. Blue dots are transformation nodes. So it was that color. Hang on. Blue. Transformation nodes? Really? All this time? Hang on. Let's see. Transformation nodes. Transformation nodes right here. Let's go with the 3D transformation. No. Yeah. It's a different blue. Because this one's a lighter blue. That's a darker blue. It's a different blue. What does the color mean on the output and input? I know they are for textures and some. Yeah, you know what? That's kind of a weird one. Like, I'll ask the bot again for you to explain that. But like, I didn't get a clear answer every time I've asked the bot for that. Octane texture nodes. Oh, that's green. That's green. Like, I tried to color code these to the output color. But opposite, that's the input color. Like, the input colors can vary. Like, you can see the input colors are totally different than the output colors. Man, okay. Yeah, I asked the bot that before, and it wasn't kind of giving me a clear answer. What do the different colors on the nodes represent in Blender Octane? Now see, here we go. And they're all, it's not really. Yeah, they're confusing. Yeah, they are. So brown and beige texture nodes, noise, RGB spectrum. See, like brown and beige, that's not right, because texture, for a texture node, such as the noise or the RGB spectrum, it's not brown or beige. Like, hang on, let me go back to Blender. It's green. For a texture node, it's green. Brown or beige is the material node out, right? Even if I come in here and go Gaussian spectrum node. Gaussian spectrum node. See, it's green. It's not. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes switching options in the nodes will change the output color. Yeah, so, like, I still have yet to find a defined answer. Octane, Blender plugin, node overview, node types, and visuals. Let's see what this one says really quickly. See, and this page doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, so that's why. Let's go to Octane Blender node. This is just going to be like overall nodes. Yeah, that's just going to show me all the nodes. And there's nothing in the documentation. Octane form node workflow. I'm having trouble getting these passes through. Render layers, mask. Yeah, see. So when I render the render layer, I'm seeing a different color object now. So it's not. Yeah, that's kind of a mystery, right? And like red equals volume and ignition. Purple, add, multiply. So what I'm gonna need to do again is, I'm sure OTOY's explained it somewhere, but it's not seeing it anywhere. Yeah, in the documentations. I'm quite sure So that might be like another question I need to try to ask on maybe like the on the Blender Octane Facebook forum. So again here, hang on one thing. Hang on, that's bugging me now. Like I want to know. Let's go to a value node here. Value node. Like what's the color of these here? This is blue. Up. There we go. This range node just works. So what did I went to value? I went to values. Okay, bools, these don't work. Oh, no, that don't work. Converters, float to, and these are like converters. Like, see, it goes from blue to yellow, which I've never used the yellow output ever. Now the hunting for the correct node begins. Right, exactly. So value nodes, hang on. Value nodes. Never mind. That was a quick one. Value nodes. Hey guys, also, if you want a copy of this right here, it's not up to date. I need to, there's like, it's missing a few nodes here and there. I'll download this and drop a link in this video so you guys can download this PDF. It kind of just helps, right? Value nodes. All right, here we go. This one's blue. Octane value node, fall off value, sun direction, Octane value, the math nodes, the range node, more math nodes, rotate node right here in Octane value operators. Octane value operators. Octane value operators. Operators. Rotate nodes. Yeah, let me make sure. Did it download? Because I'm gonna forget off stream, so I want to do it right now, so I don't forget. Did I download it? It should be downloaded, right? Go to my downloads. Downloads. I don't see it. It said it downloaded. Octane shaders. All Octane shader nodes. PDF. Oh, all Octane shaders PDF. Here it is. All right. Does that work? Oh, it works. 3 megabytes. Let's upload it right now. Let me upload it right now. How should I upload it? Oh, 3 megabytes? I can upload it in the Discord. Right? Because that's less than 100 megabytes. Instead of having to do a Dropbox and all that. I'm going to put it inside of Node database. Upload a file. Download. All Octane nodes database uploading. All right, it's uploading right now, guys. It's in the Discord. It's in all node database. Can somebody download it and tell me if it worked? If you forget can't run, we have you in Discord. 3 megabytes for all that. That's amazingly surprising. Yeah, somebody in the community, I made a massive, I actually have a Blender file too, where the actual Blender file, and then somebody took it and made it a PDF out of it. Because if you come back here in the community here, if you look, This is just the PDF, but here's the actual blend. How big is the blend file? Let me download that too. I might just give you guys that too. Man, I'm giving out all the goods. This is supposed to be stuff for the community, but that's all right. I don't mind sharing the love. That's 3 megabytes also, so I'm gonna give you the blend file too. I'm gonna go upload that in there too. So if you guys want to update it, let's update it and then pump it back out, and then I'll put it in the community. Update file, all Blender node, all Octane nodes. All right, boom, there it is. All Octane nodes, PDF, and the Blender file should be in there. I gotta stand up for a second so I don't hurt my back. All right, let me know if that works, guys. Did you download that? Oh, the stream's gonna take a hit right now too while it's uploading. I can see it, the numbers already. I'll try to help as well. Cool. That's the only way we're gonna make Blender Octane more better and get the word out there so people will start taking us serious, right? And even if they don't, oh well, then they're just missing out. All right, so to wrap this up, let's come back here to our Suzanne head. Here's our range node. Let's plug the range node into the fall off direction. Look at that. Now we're controlling it, guys. Now we're controlling it, guys, with the range node. Look at that. Hell yeah. Learned something new today. I think there might be a better node still. Let me see. Let's keep pushing. Values. We said range node, rotate node, time if. I don't think those if nodes are going to really make a difference. Float value node might be a little easier because it could be X, Y, Z. Let's try the float value node. Float value node. Float value. Hang on first, let me reset this. Right, float value node. Let's go like 90. Let's go 180. So that looks like it's maxing out already. 100. It's maxed out. 50. 25. 10. 5. 0. 1. Okay, 1 is the max. 1. Let's kill that. Let's go 1. Okay. Kill that. 1. On top. Oh, backwards. Okay. So that works. So a value of 1 is max. Look at 1. It's like here on the side. It's like half, right? It's like 90 degrees. Kill that. Go to the next one. Go to 1. Now it's coming from the bottom here. Actually, can I do this? -1? There it is. -1. Go back to 0. And then we go 1. Now it looks like it's going front to back, right? And then if we flip that, -1. Boom. There it is, guys. Float value node. That's how you control that. So anytime you see that blue slot and a float value node is probably the node to go to. So that means I also can plug, well, we don't need it, but you can plug a float value node into any one of these. Anywhere else I can see that blue? Oh, anisotropy. Look, anisotropy spread on the glossy node. What else is blue? Index of refraction, but that's already being controlled, so you don't really need that for that. But even in this material that he made, look, he's already using them here in this material that they made. Let me go ahead and kill that for a minute. See this material? Which one are we on? That's awesome. I'll try to remember that. Yeah, that's cool. I'm happy we figured that out. So that this material that he made here, this material, he's using it right here, guys. Look, he's got the amount, he's got the vector, he's got the skew factor, he's got it cooked up. How to control, how to combine that with the bump node? What do you mean with the bump node? What do you mean with how to control that with the bump node? What do you mean? Like the fall off value with the bump node? A fall off value with the bump node? Hang on. It should work the same because it's just black. It's just kicking out black and white values. The bump node works off of black and white values. White goes up, black goes down, right? Let's just plug it in and see what happens. I think he means making the fall off act as a bump texture. Not really seeing it do anything. Hang on. That material is gorgeous though. Yeah, those are the Pixel Lab materials are awesome, guys. I can't hype those enough. I can't hype those enough. They're just awesome. Right here it says apply, bump, and normal. I don't really see it doing anything though. Normal. Oh, there it is. It's doing something. Let me go back to bump. Oh, sorry, that's bump height. I don't really see it doing anything to bump. Hang on, let's do this. Let's see if it works in displacement. Displacement, texture displacement. Whoops. I hit Photoshop by accident. I'm not seeing anything. I probably have to bake it. Hang on, let me turn it down just in case it blows up Octane. Not really seeing anything happen. I mean, I did see something would happen when I plugged into the normal. I think I crashed the server. Hang on. Yep, crashed the server. Up. Just join the community. Welcome to the family, brother. Welcome to the family, brother or sister. Maybe inputs and the noise into apply the bump noise. Yeah, okay, let's try that. Noise texture. Let's go noise texture into here. Yeah, I was thinking like it would act like a layer of dust or something. I've used it for like that as a layer of dust. It works fantastic. But now you got me curious about the bump because it says here too, apply the bump and normal map. So you got me curious. God, I gotta live stream more often, guys. You guys got me digging deep that I've never, like, you got me questioning stuff I've never questioned before, which I like. I always tinker. Like, I'm always trying to break it. Like, okay, let's break it. Like, I think we already broke it. Like, we broke the server. I gotta turn the server back on. Let me get some water. What time is it? Oh, guys, I gotta get out of here soon. I gotta go to work early today. I gotta be at work at 1:30. It's already 11:30. But I want to hang on 10 more minutes. Actually, 12 o'clock. I gotta leave at 1. I need to eat lunch. 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes. Let's figure this last section out here. All right, let's figure this last one out here. All right, let's figure this out really quick here. All right, close that. Let's fire this back up. Yeah, I noticed with this newest update that the server crashes a lot when I'm doing displacement, texture displacement. But they're actually working on a new texture displacement system. I saw previews of it. The new texture displacement is going to be even better. I never watched live streams, but your streams are generally fun. I've learned a lot. From you and the community. Adrian Rat, thanks, mate. Yeah, and I normally don't. I mean, I always tried to live stream, but like it was always just me. You guys have actually been making this stream interesting because you guys are actually asking questions that are interesting. Normally, I would live stream and like nobody will say anything. Like I will literally see there's 6 people watching, and no one will say nothing. Or I'll like, you got any questions? You guys have been asking questions. That's what's making this stream extremely fun. So we're digging in deep, right? You're asking me questions that I don't know of, and we're just trying it out. Okay, so now we've got the displacement kicking. It's working. There's our displacement. Texture displacement. The black arts of Octane. I'm going to disconnect that. Oh, so that was doing something in the normal. Look, it is doing something in the normal. Let's disconnect this color because this is giving me an optical illusion. No, it is doing something. Look, it is pumping it out. Look. Haha. I ask a lot of questions. That's just my nature. And that's a good thing to have. Always keep that no matter what you do in life. Because a lot of people, especially when they go to school and they classes in university, they don't want to ask questions because they're afraid they're going to ask a stupid question. There are no stupid questions. I've learned that a lot going and just reading books and about, you know, the top 1% of people who the big money makers, and they're always asking questions. They're always questioning things. Why? Why does it have to be like this? Why can't it be like this? And that's probably why they're the top 1%ers in the world, and that's why they're sitting on gazillions of dollars. Now, this is working. This is working. Now, what we could do, you see how we're splitting Suzanne? And that's just because of the mid-level. So if I just go ahead and get this mid-level, let's go to 0.5 first. And see, I think we crashed the server again. So I'm going to report this. There's a bug going on. I'm going to report this to the Blender guys, to the Octane guys. There's definitely a bug with the texture displacement, and it keeps crashing the server. So I have to, I'm going to report that today for sure. Yeah, I'm going to report that. Because the last time I was streaming, we were playing with the displacement texture node. It was crashing. It kept crashing the server. But there's going to be a new update on it anyways. They're working on a new one. All right. Let's do it again. But we basically play with this mid-level to fix that, and I just don't want to do it right now because it's going to crash it. But okay, so we are basically using the fall off in the displacement, which I've never done before. This is the first time. This is so cool. Look at that. So obviously now what we could also do is throw a gradient map in between here to compress that a little bit. The PDF link didn't send me. Maybe because you're live streaming and it posts. I posted it in the Discord. You didn't get it? It didn't work? It should be just a standard HTML file, and you double click on it and it should automatically open. Did anybody else download that? Did it work? It's right here in the Discord, node base, in the node database, PDF and the Blender Oct, the full file. Let me know before I get off stream. I want to make sure that works. Well, even if it doesn't, I can still chat with you guys in the Discord. Yeah, if you guys are new here, we got a Discord. If you guys are hardcore, we've got the Blender Octane community, which you get access to the Blender Chat GPT bot, and you get access to just community members who are hardcore about Blender Octane. And there's some guys in our community who are monsters with Octane. Like, they do some serious stuff. You haven't sent it yet or clicked enter, really? Ah! Sorry. Gubbing, as we would say here in Japan. Gubbing. Yeah, I never hit enter. Multitasking. Don't do it. Multitasking kills. Alright, let me know now. And also check out this one too, guys. I did this little cheat sheet here for cycles and oh, there it goes. Thank you. For cycles and for Octane. Like, here's a cycle setup for glass. And then, like, here's the cycle setup. Here's the Octane setup for glass. Right? And you can compare the two. I need to release this on Instagram again. I need to post that on Instagram again. Yup, rocket. All right, whoever, I forgot, was it Cobb that came up with that idea? Who came up with that idea to plug it into the bump? Yeah, Cobb, yeah, he was. See, I want to get the chat so I can leave it here, but it's definitely too much going on there. I need to find a cool spot in the screen here. Or I want to find a way where the chat letters or like, is there like a background function that I can use? Because I like having the chat up on screen so I don't have to keep looking at my little tiny chat box that I have here, which is like super tiny. Chat overlay. White background. Transparent page background. Transparent page background. Oops. Overlay. Transparent page background. Copy link. Copy link. And hang on really quick, guys. One last, I want to try to figure this out really quickly. Hey Patrick, just joining in. Oh, CG, what up? We're just getting ready to wrap things up. We were going deep. I would definitely suggest going back to the beginning of this stream because we went deep today. And we got some freebies. I just added some freebies in the Discord. There is this list of all the Blender Octane nodes. It's missing just a few because I haven't updated it since last year. But we just went deep on playing with the fall off map and the gradient map today. Today's lesson was all about nodes. We didn't really make anything today. We got sidetracked. What do you guys think for tomorrow? Should we make something or should we go deep again on nodes? Let me know. Oh, hang on. I think I can do a vote right now. Check this out. I think we can. I can set it up right here. Where's it at? Engage audio enhance. Yes, set a poll. Check this out. Okay. Should we do more node stuff? Yes or no? Boom, I just threw it in the chat. There's a poll. Let's vote. We got 5 minutes and I gotta go. Let's vote. What should we do? Should we do more node stuff or should we start doing more making stuff? Or back to making signs. And I wanted to quickly figure out this. Do a stream about anything as long as it's about Octane. Yeah, I mean, now that I'm starting to get into the rhythm of streaming daily, we might just do. I might like just do every other day. Like one day we make something, one day we get back into, or maybe we do like, I don't know, Node Tuesdays or something, and then like Wednesdays something we make something. I don't know. We'll just keep going. We'll see what happens, right? We'll slowly build a structure for this. Cause I still gotta make some videos. I can't. I mean, I don't know. I can't turn it. I don't know. Can I turn into a streamer? Just an Octane streamer? I think I gotta do a little bit of both. Because there is some videos I want to do where I'm breaking down my scenes that I built. Like I want to break down the render that I did for the render network. So I want to break that down and do it a video for that. Does this make a background on it? I can't tell if it made a background on it. It's supposed to make a background on it. Does it look like there's a transparent background on the chat? I can't tell. Let me go back in and try another setting. Oh yeah, there's some examples. Okay. Chat box, arigato gozaimasu. Thanks for your knowledge today. You were a big help. Let's make a hard shell taco material on Tuesday. Taco Tuesdays. I miss Taco Tuesday in America, bro. Del Tacos, 89-cent tacos. Well, that was many years ago. There used to be 89-cent Taco Tuesdays. I'm quite sure now they're probably like $1.50 Taco Tuesdays. All right, I gotta go to sleep. I had a ton of fun being here. See ya. All right, bro. See ya, mate. Yeah, we're getting ready to wrap this up, guys. I'm just trying to figure out that last little bit of getting this chat box looking presentable. Make the entire page particularly transparent. Green. I'm trying to get this chat box so we can see. Let me turn on white background. Copy link. And chat group properties. Paste. Oh no, all white like that? We don't know. I don't like that. We can't even see the chat. Nope. Turn that off. All green. All green. Oh, they turn on green because the green, we can chroma key it out. Yeah, green we can chroma key it out, but I don't need to do that because there's a transparent background. Make the entire page transparent background, dark mode, make the background black. Fade out the top of the overlay. Let's make the change and then do this. Alright, copy link. Properties. Let's see. Alright, I gotta go get some sleep. Had a ton of fun. How come I'm not seeing the chat now? Testing chat. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, I actually kind of like that. That's showing up a little bit better. I wish we could just make a background around just the actual text word. Bleep boop, yep. Thanks, bro. Show view counter. Show current OBS in the coordinate. What do you think of my idea? What idea, bro? Force transparent background on height. Make the entire page practically transparent. Transparent background. I mean, that looks good right here, but when I'm inside of Blender, that's where I'm in chat above. I write it. I want it to be like a bubble, like an outline around my text so I can really, so it's hard to read the text. Like, do you guys want the text on screen or should I leave it off screen and just leave the little pop-up around the top? Okay, yeah, I kind of like that too. Yeah, like no day, then alternative back to make something. Yeah, because it keeps things new and keeps things fresh. I agree. I think we'll do that. We'll just kind of flip flop it, and then depending on if we're making something and we hit a snag on a node, then we'll just go deep on that node for a moment and then try to jump back to what we were doing. Text outlining. No text outlining. I want text outlining. Background shading of messages. Allow backgrounding shading for trivial events. What's that mean? Make emojis. Large avatars on the left corner. Messages appear on its own line under the name. Okay, I like that. Split mode. Turn message portion into a round bubble. Uh-oh. I think that might be it. Copy link. Group chat. Paste. This is a test. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is a test. Ah, there it is. Okay, but now I don't need transparent background. Now we don't need transparent background. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Because I like to have the chat on there so everybody can see. Like if you jump in late, you can kind of like scroll through. You can at least look at the chat and see what we're talking about instead of having the questions disappear. Overlays, transparent background, we don't need that. Let's turn off dark mode. And let's leave the fade on. Let's try this. Alright, let's try this. And I kind of want to leave it up, but I don't want it to be too distracting. And I don't want to make a certain special box on Blender just for chat to be, because we're taking up screen space, right? Oh, what was the votes? Hang on, let me take a look at the votes. What were the votes? I see it up there. Oh, 67% say no. Oh, can you guys see that? Can you guys see that? There we go. Should we do more node stuff? 67% say no. Okay, 10 minutes is up. We had 9 votes. So we'll mix it up. Yeah, we'll mix it up. That's good. I love that feedback. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll get back to making the sign that I was going to make today. I'll make the sign that I was going to make today tomorrow. And I'll probably take some more pictures while I'm out. And hang on, I wanted to do one more time, test that. I want to test this chat one more time, guys. Testing 1, 2, 3. How come my text is not popping up now? What did I do? Okay, that's a little bit better. I like that. Yep, we ended up agreeing, mixing. Yeah, that's good. Cool. All right, guys. Got the chat. We're getting the chat. Nice. I wonder if I could change the color, though. Can you read that? Should I put the name in the name on one single line with the chat or leave it like that? Split. I can read that a little bit better. Probably looks more better when we're in the layout, probably, right? No, it's kind of hard to read still. Still kind of hard to read. Wonder if we do this. Wonder if I move it to... No, it's way too small. Can't even read that, right? That's stupid. How come it won't let me just like have like a single line of chat pop up? Oh, actually I can. I can do this. Hang on. I can do this. If I hold Alt, yeah, there we go. So, hang on. What if we do this? Kill this, kill this. Actually, hang on. No. Kill the text, keep the color. And then kind of have like... I wish I can have it, the text populate horizontally versus up and down. That would be nice. And let's see if we can isolate this down to like 1. That's not the last text though. Yeah, I know, huh? Well, what did I do? That's the last text. And then let's take... I mean, do you guys want the text on screen? Message fades in. Message fades out when hiding. Message fades in. Message slides in from the right. Message smoothly scrolls in. Message scrolls in from the right. I didn't see the message come in, huh? Oh, it's way up in the top. I think they're already a pop-up chat when someone texts with a picture. Oh, I see what it means by it slides in from the right. It slides in from the right. Okay. That's getting somewhere. Now that it slides in, let's go to slides in from the right. Messages scroll. Message smoothly scroll in. Message fades out when hiding. Message fades in. Message scrolls in. Advanced animation options can be set below. They may override. Effects. In, effects out. Oh, that's just where it's coming in. Message styling. Limit it with a line. Yeah. That's that's a good idea. Limit it with a line. Visible. Hide the icons. Just blur messages. Hide avatars. Hide timestamps. Hide badges. Show only. Limit messages to 200. Use first name only. Filter out messages with bad karma. Hide messages with bikuti marks. Show donations. Only show messages marked with a question mark. Hide basic messages shorter than 5 characters. Ignore only emoji. There's so many options on this. And this thing is free. This extension is free. Replace links with messages with just link. Make URLs clickable in the link. Oh, make URLs clickable in the link. Really? I wonder if that works if when I try to post. Well, it's already clickable when I post it in there for YouTube, right? Increase minimum time messages show. Styling. Compact mode. No space between names. Oh, let's turn that on. Okay, compact mode. Padding between messages, 3 pixels. Align donations to the right. No text outlining. Increase text outlining by 50%. Decrease text outlining. Oh, the outline on the text. Okay. Background shading for messages. No alternative background shading. No, I want a shading. Messages appear on its own line under the name. So let's kind of maybe tune that off then. Split mode. Message aligns relatively to the center. Turn message portion into a round bubble. I like that. Horizontal scrolling messages. Let's try that. Oh, I see it. I see your message. Hang on. It's like super faint on the top there. You know what? Okay. I think it is single line now. Now let's kind of... I think it is single line. Now let's take this, and I have to turn that fade off. I think I have to turn that fade off. Let's bring it down here. How come I can't... How come this box... Oh, see? I see it down there. Okay, let me turn the fade off. That fade off. Now I gotta turn that fade off. Styling. No, what was it? Visibility. Effects. Message scrolls in. No, where was it? Visibility overlays. Fade out at the top. Yeah, okay, take that off. Copy that. Take that. Chat group. Paste that. Okay. See what that does. I actually posted the link in there by accident, but hang on. All right, that's kind of working, huh? But it's still cutting the message off. Today we are smashing Octane and overlays. You know, this is just what we got to do to get this stream to look proper, right? How come it's cutting it off? Oh, because I think that's why I had that name, the name thing turned off, because it kept... Now it seems like it's cutting it off at the name. Hang on, properties. This box 600 by 800. Can we go 800 by 800? Let's see, box 800. So let me just, let's go 1920 by 1080. Oh, it's working. Okay, we're getting it to the side. I'm getting it to the side. It's working. I see why it's cutting it off, because that was the previous message. Okay, so what is, I would say, more importantly, it would be better to have it at the top than at the bottom, right? And what I'll do is take this color thing, put this out. See, this is dead space here. That's why I had it here. I want it at the bottom because there's this, that's dead space there on the bottom. Like, I really want to utilize the dead space. So it's just, the issue is when I go transform, fit to screen, control F. Okay, there it is. So if I can just control F, then we take this, bring this, oh, I guess we can't do that, right? All right, and then if I drag that, that doesn't work, right? Okay. Oh, nice. We're getting there. Make the toolbar auto hide in the settings. Oh, I see what you're saying. But I use my toolbar all the time. Like that's like my I don't even use Windows. But what I just want this to fit in the yellow area. Okay, but what I'm thinking about doing is just increasing the height of this background because we don't really use this area right here in Blender too much, the timeline thing here. Because I really don't. Okay, so let's just do this. Can I make that text a little bit smaller? I know I can make this a little bit taller. Or undo. I can go like this. Hold Alt. Kind of like that. I always come late and miss the cool stuff. Damn. Yeah, sorry. Go back, but I would definitely recommend going back to the beginning of the stream, like 10 minutes in. We talked about the color. We talked about the we just talked about a bunch of nodes, the gradient map node, the fall off map node, and in the Discord I gave away the free Blender, all the nodes. I gave away all the nodes, a Blender file and a PDF file of all the Octane Blender nodes. It's like we were using that. Go to the Discord and grab that. Go back and watch some of this. I'm gonna put some chapters in it later on today, so you can go back. But we're just fixing up the chat right now. That looks clean, though. How about that? You guys like that? I like that. That looks clean. I wish I could make it a little bit smaller though. The text is still a little bit too big for me, for my liking. Check the overlay tool if there is a letter per line limit. Planning to use Octane on my next client project. Really? But I recommend, so have you ever used Octane before? You get all the bugs out, work it out right now before you start diving into a client project. But yeah, that's kind of the best way to do it, is just get in and learn it. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, let's see if we can shorten up. I think there is what you said, a limit. There is an overlay tool if there's a letter per line limit. Yes, there is. Why? What do you think I should do with that? Okay, menu. We don't need that. Overlay. I want to risk it all. Yeah, I went all in. I went all in for 30 days when I first got into Octane. I just did 30 days of renders every day for 30 days. And I was like, I'm only going to use Octane. And that's how I really learned Octane. Like, I came all scarred up and beat up, but I came out like, I came out like a champ. I stood for the fight 30 days. Mechanics. Hide auto message after, okay, that's... Custom auto tune show. No. Visibility. Total limit total messages to 200. No, I don't. Oh, that one cut it out. See, yeah, it's like the line. Yeah, I don't want it to cut off at the bottom. Okay, hang on. I want to fix that. Padding between messages. Trim names longer than 8 characters. Fade out when hiding. Fades in. Overlays. Make smaller overlay. Make overlays bigger. Mechanics. Feature chat overlays. No, this is different. Feature chat overlays is different. That's a different. We're just talking about. Dude, I'm not seeing it, man. Options, host. Export messages. Save the last message. Oh, that's cool. Export messages. Effects. Ah, see, yeah, like, it's cutting the message off on the bottom. I don't like that. I think if someone writes a long message will be trimmed, people should start to text short messages. Yeah, there is. Yeah, you got a point there. Okay, I'm gonna stop there, but I just messages longer. Text messages to 200 characters. Trim messages to 200 characters. Let's try that. Split message mode. Message aligns relative to the center. Message appears on its own line under the name. No, I don't want that because then it's gonna definitely add more space. All right, last go at it because I'm already cutting into my lunchtime now. I might have to grab something on my way to work. Now let's try this one more time here. Chat group. Select all, paste. Okay. Alright, now let's see what this does. Come back to chat, and this is going to be a longer text because I want to see if it's going to cut it off and how much of it is going to be above 200. It looks like right now I'm already at 122 characters. Oh, 19 left. I have 19 characters left. Now I should be over the limit. Okay, there it is. Now it's over the limit. It cut me off. Yep. See. See, there it is. Yeah. This is good for now. I'll play with this some more tomorrow. But yeah, you made it like if the message is too long. Because right now YouTube has a limit on the on the message incoming. The message incoming is. It was showing. I think it's like. I think it might be 200. I was typing somewhere and it was showing a character count. I don't know where it was. Also, it's aligned to the right instead of to the left. Oh yeah, I see that. Message is aligned to the right. The message is aligned to the right. The message is aligned, but it's checked off. Force right to left text reading. Maybe this is the count right here. 200. Let's go 100. Let's see what happens. Maybe that is the total count. Let's see what happens. Copy link. That's a rabbit hole. It is, man. It's like and then like this is just this free extension. There's so many other add-ons like this thing can do, which I'm like not even touching. All this stuff way down here at the bottom is like more subsets. Like here, chat bots and AI services, emoji walls, hypermeter, tip jars, waiting list, graphic polls, battle royale, tickers, world cloud, custom gift commands, like, and this thing is awesome. It's free. It's called Stream Ninja. Did I paste in a new one? Let's just copy this last one here and paste this. Nope, that didn't fix anything. Yeah, for now we're just gonna like, yeah, if the messages are too, like, I like how this is. I'm sure OBS has something that would help. Yeah, and again, like, this is just an add-on for OBS too, so it's kind of like, I'm gonna go back to kind of the small setting that we had here and bring this guy down, and then nope, chat group chat. What is I doing? Hey, chat group. Nope. What am I doing? Chat group. It's gonna set it up for 1, so if it gets cut off, the thing, if it gets cut off, is not a bad thing because it's still gonna pop up here in the top. Like, it's still going to, it still will populate up here, right? See, oop, and I actually my camera is actually should be behind. That's cutting that off. My camera should be behind chat. There we go. So the long messages will still show up here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and continue to make this smaller. All right, that's no biggie. And then like big messages will just get cut off. And they'll still be featured once they get on the top pop-up. So let's kind of put this back down to right about there. And this guy here can kind of fit in there. It looks a little bit cleaner though when it goes off screen to the side there, but I kind of do wish that I can just, oh, I can stretch it. Nice. There we go. All right. My back. There we go. Man, the stream is slowly coming along, guys. We're day 6. Basically, day 6 of streaming. Starting to figure this thing out. Putting in the reps. All right, guys. I got to go eat. I got to be out of here in about 35 minutes. I got to be on the train. See you guys tomorrow. If you guys come in and check it out tomorrow, I'm going to be scheduling again tomorrow. And I'm probably going to schedule every day except for Saturdays and Sundays. I got to take a break. Family day on Saturdays and Sundays. So don't forget, check the Discord out. I put those files in there. If you guys are hardcore, we got the Blender Octane Skool community also for those of the members who get crazy hardcore about it. Peace. Catch you guys next one. Cop, thanks for staying late and helping out. Thanks for staying late and helping clean up the place here. Thanks a lot. See ya. Frost, good luck with that. Definitely jump in the Discord if you got any questions, and we'll try to help you out. One last little tweak. This is looking like these little short ones are coming in like that, right? One little last tweak, and let me just tweak this color bar down just a little bit more, like maybe like that, right? Oh, no, kind of like No. What's going on? There we go. No, why is it doing that now? Why is it doing that? Just leave it alone. Kenneth, what up? We'll be here tomorrow. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Let me just bring that down one more time. There we go. Hell yeah, stream's looking tight. I'm gonna have to make a custom background for that though. I don't like that orange color like that.